Hey everybody, I am back in full effect. I hope that you are doing okay and that you missed me a little bit. I missed you guys. Even though I don't know you, well, some of you I do know. It is really nice to feel connected with posting new things and some of you reacting, and we're connected anyhow in the spacious present. Let's get down to business. So I want to read to you a part from Linda Medendaal's book 10,000 Whispers, a guide to conscious creation. So Linda Medendaal, for the ones who don't know her, she is a Seth scholar. She is still alive, which I really love. Like people that are still alive and are living the teachings. Yeah, I somehow lived on their faith, just like all of us lived on the faith of anyone who is further on the path of conscious creation. I just love it when people are still alive and kicking, and you can ask them questions and read their stories and learn from their lives. We are all unique and we all have our own way of learning. So it's not that what works for Linda works for me or what works for me works for you. So that is something that you probably understand by now. But still we can help each other on the path. Without further ado, let me read to you this part. The title is When It's No Longer an Option. And when you're interested, it's on page 66 of 10,000 Whispers. And I will put all the information in the description below. Oh, and I have something for you, which I will mention at the end. When it's no longer an option. One time I asked the committee why a certain event did not occur. And they said, because you decided it was no longer an option. So you have to know the committee is the higher self of Linda and her late husband Stan. And the committee, they talk to the committee through a Ouija board, which is also what Jane and Rob used in the past. And Jane and Rob was a couple. They were a couple. And Jane was channeling the teachings of Seth, and Rob, her husband, was making all the notes, and then out of that came the books. So that's the committee, the higher self of Linda and Stan. Is it that simple to change probabilities? Just decide that what seems the most obvious direction is no longer an option? We all establish psychic boundaries around certain areas of our lives that represent the demarcation line between what we will and will not accept. While the line may undulate around the periphery of our off-limits area, meaning sometimes we allow ourselves to step beyond our borders, it eventually becomes firm and obvious. My sister Pam, for instance, P.S. I really love this. My sister Pam, for instance, will allow herself to go only so far with a serious illness, and then she calls it quits. One time, she was told it had become necessary for her to carry a personal oxygen supply for the rest of her life. Within a week, she was completely free of illness. I asked her what happened, and she replied, I screamed to myself, in essence, no, this is not an option. Another time, she was told she had a heart condition that would permanently disable her. She screamed, and it went away. Both times, she hit the electrical wire of her off-limits psychic field and ended the problematic situation by not accepting it any longer. We all do the same to varying degrees and drama. Some will push themselves to the brink of bankruptcy and then cry, in so many words, this is not an option. Some will face discrimination only so long and then cry, this is not an option. Yet in other areas of their life, they're wide open to pain and sadness because they have no established point of retraction. Okay, let me repeat that last part. Some will push themselves to the brink of bankruptcy and then cry, in so many words, "This is not an option." Some will face discrimination only so long and then cry, "This is not an option." Yet, in other areas of their lives, they're wide open to pain and sadness because they have no established point of retraction, which just means boundaries. In my case, moderate to serious ill health is not an option. I may give myself a headache or a drippy nose every once in a while, but that's about all. I never entertain the idea of illness. I don't fight it off, it just never occurs to me that sickness is a possibility. So strong is my belief in my psychic boundary that when I cancelled my health insurance, it was without a qualm. It seemed silly, when I thought about it, for me to continue to validate a possibility that no longer existed as an option in my life. I don't take vitamins, I don't monitor my cholesterol level, I don't check for breast cancer or schedule pap tests. I don't get preventative inoculations or annual health checkups. I assume I'm in menopause, but I'll never take hormones or related medication. I also don't lock my car or home, and I don't carry a rape whistle or own a handgun. I guess you could say I feel I live in a safe universe, and that the only demons that could possibly destroy me, from within my body or outside in my environment, are my own thoughts, attitudes, and beliefs. Can these psychic boundaries be consciously initiated? Sure, they're built of beliefs, just as all other areas in life are, and therefore can be cultivated by desire. When we change our mind or drop a previously held belief, what happens in universal terms? We close down one probability, maybe the most prevalent at the moment, and surround ourselves with others. We halt the forward movement of one probability and sidestep into a field of new possibility. When we stop buying into the idea that a past, present, or possible future event is unchangeable, immovable, rock solid, a given, then we're free to experience other options. Oh man, this book, seriously, I love it. 10,000 Whispers. So as I said, I'll put everything in the description below. And I'm launching my own book very soon, probably in 2 weeks. It is not as genius as Linda's book yet, what I have written, and it is definitely worthwhile for anyone who wants to know the basics of conscious creation. The present that I have for you. So I'm also working on a really cool, coloring book with affirmations and pictures. And I have one for you that you can download for free. And I'll put the link to this also in the description. I apologize for all the tripping over sentences and words and all that. And I trust you will forgive me. I wish you a beautiful week, and I look forward to seeing you and talking to you in the next one. Ciao!